Behold the Etowah tarp. Alright, this is my Etowah tarp. Pretty small. In fact, I can compress it down and hold it almost in the palm of my hand. Really lightweight too. Here, let us weigh it. Let me change the units here to ounces and hook onto the tag here. Maybe. Survey says 15.1 ounces. Nice. Now, that does not include any tent stakes. That does not include any carabiners, and it also doesn't include the ground tarp or the 2 tent poles. But nonetheless, you have a ground cover for that small of a weight, you know, 15.1 ounces. That's a little 1 ounce under a pound. And then all I need is a couple of carabiners and your tent poles, which you're gonna hike, or your hiking poles, I should say, not tent poles, hiking poles. You're gonna hike with your hiking poles anyway. And like I've shown you before in my previous videos, I just use ski poles. They're really light as well. These ski poles that I have cost me $3, and I bought them at a thrift store. Both poles together weigh 16.9 ounces. I hike with the poles, and so I'm using my poles for 2 different things, which is nice. I hike with them, and I also pitch the tarp with them when I camp. I've actually used this tarp. It's pretty sweet. So really lightweight, and then all you need is a couple of really lightweight stakes. I won't even weigh those because there's nothing to them. They're just aluminum stakes. Whoa. I'm in the mood for a donut.
Why?
Okay, so here is the Etowah tarp all laid out. What you'll notice is that this is the 10 foot by 8 foot version. 10 feet by 8 this way. What I've done is, so far I have just staked this edge and also this edge here, and then I'm going to set the tarp up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the tarp up in real time with wind, so you guys will know what it's like. I haven't set this tarp up in a while, so that way you'll know what it's like to set a tarp tent up as far as time-wise is concerned. What I do have, I weighed this tarp and it's 15.1 ounces. That includes this micro cord, just so you're aware. I've got this micro cord just on all the corners in case I ever need to stake it down. In addition, I've also got some heavier duty cord just where the ridgeline goes, in case I ever want a hammock with it. So anyway, alright, well, time to start setting up Mr. Tarp and see how long it takes me. Well, there it is. It took me a couple of seconds to get it all squared away. This is how it looks when it's done. Let me try to slow down Mr. Camera here, show you what it looks like on the inside. You can fit about 2 people, I'd say, on the inside. I slept 1 this last time that I took this out. It was really good. I was taking it canoeing, actually. which was really nice because I didn't want to canoe 5 pounds of yummy camping tent 3 miles across a reservoir. So anyway, here's how it looks on the inside. What I do is I take a ground tarp with me. These are my hiking poles. It also helps to have this guy line. You saw it fall down at the beginning. That's because I didn't stick my guy line first. Should have done that, but what you'd notice is it takes about 5 minutes. If I wanted to, I could take a couple more minutes and waste your life even more, and get this more taut. All I got to do is pull this a little more, bring this down. Tightens right up. Just depends on where you put your poles. These poles that I've got, they're solid. They make hiking poles that extend and retract. However, that adds extra weight. Those can break, and they're really expensive. I'm just using a set of ski poles. They were $3, and they're really lightweight, which I really like. This tent has kept me dry. I've had it out in a rainstorm before. No water came through. But I did seam seal the center of the tarp, just in case, because there's nothing more fun than being camping and soaking wet at the same time. Anyhow, that's pretty much how it works. I like it. It was way cheap. I think brand new they're $65, but somebody let me buy this off them for $10. So $10 tarp and $3 poles. I've got a $13 camping setup. So, rather quite nice. If I was to pull that out taut, tightens things up really good. I use a tarp with it when I go out. I think I've mentioned that already. And, it's really nice to tarp camp because people ask me, they're like, well, what do you do when you're going out and you can't hammock? I say, well, I tarp camp because it's lightweight and it provides me with really good ventilation. For instance, I had a friend that was going down to southern Utah, down into the Canyonlands, and he said, well, what do you think I should do? I said, well, you need to tarp camp. And he thought I was crazy until I helped him realize how much weight he was going to be packing 10 miles in and 10 miles back. Not to mention the elevation gain. I think he was doing about 4,000 feet of elevation gain, which is really painful. Because he was also, the problem he had is he was also carrying water. I mean, when you can figure in that you're carrying 10 pounds of water because there's no water in Canyonlands, I mean, you need to shed weight. You need to get it off you. And so what they did is they just took a small tarp and, he and his son went down. They had a wonderful trip, and it prevented them from carrying 4 extra pounds of tent material that they didn't need. And so, works really well. It takes just a few minutes to set up, and it's a skill that if you learn the skill, it can help you shed a lot of extra pounds while you're backpacking. If I was to take a couple extra minutes, I could tighten her up, but for illustrative purposes, that's pretty much how it works. There's lots of extra brands of tarps out there. This is just the one I use because it was inexpensive. The Etowah tarp, 8 feet by 10 feet.